Hi everybody, welcome to Ecodriver. My name is Helmut. Today we got on our Ecodriver consumption loop with the Toyota Prius 1.8 liter full hybrid. We have here the 4-cylinder Atkinson engine with 72 kilowatts, 98 horsepower. The electric motor delivers 53 kilowatts, 72 horsepower, and the system output is 90 kilowatts and 122 horsepower. The unladen weight is 1,457 kilograms or 3,205 pounds. And on spreadmonitor.de, which is quite a good source to find out about the real-life consumption of real-life users, is around 4.46 liters per 100 kilometers with a range of 3.32 to 5.42. So, and this small range of 2.1 liters per 100 kilometers already indicates that this is a systemically efficient car. You can't even get this over 6 liters. You must intentionally try to do it, and nobody gets a Prius to do this. So, yeah. The route we're doing, I'll show you here. We start on the southern outskirts of Innsbruck. The first kilometer is in a 30 kilometer an hour zone, 20 miles per hour. We then have an ascent, which elevates us 360 meters, 1100 feet. Hilly section, descent, open road with speeds between 30 and 100 kilometers per hour. Motorway, which is restricted to 100 kilometers an hour. And city section of 18 kilometers, 11 miles at the end. After every section, we check the overall and sectoral consumption, and at the end, we analyze the whole data. The cameras will be on all the time. A, to show how I'm driving to achieve the consumption, and B, to prove there is no need to go extra slow in order to be efficient. The weather is extremely nice today, so you get a nice view of the scenery as well, and I'll talk to you later. At the end of the climb, we see 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers. We're now approaching the hills, and on the hills it's important to play with the road, to use the momentum to go into the next hill, build up some speed on the way down, and it's just like on a roller coaster, and avoid maintaining the speed at all costs when it goes up. And especially with hybrids, and this Toyota hybrid, which reacts very sensitively on what you do with your right foot. You can select yourself when the engine, or decide yourself when the engine goes off, because you know there's a short, or you're coming to the top of a small hill and then it's going down afterwards. So you can make the engine go off earlier, therefore reduce the consumption of fuel even more. At the end of the hills, we have 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers. You may have noticed I tried to force the EV mode on the last couple of 100 meters in order to empty the battery as much as possible, because I know there is now a descent which will refill the battery anyway. So I tried to get the most distance covered in EV mode, because that means there's no fuel used. On the way down, I now switched to the power meter and or to the energy diagram, and you see how the battery is quite empty. I think it doesn't go below 2 or 3 bars out of 7 or 8, and on the way down now it will fill up rather quickly. That means we produce way more braking energy than this battery can take, because it's just a small 1.3 kilowatt hour battery. And if you do long descents regularly, then maybe think about buying a plug-in hybrid and not a full hybrid, as you have more storage capacity for the braking energy. On the other hand, the power of the electric motor is normally rather restricted. With hybrids and plug-in hybrids, we have 53 kilowatts here, and that means we have around 40-45 kilowatts for braking. And if you really brake hard on the way down, or from higher speeds, or even in the flat when you're in the city, try to brake in a way that you stroke the pedal gently and not brake too hard, as this will exceed the regenerative capacity of the electric motor. Therefore, you use the friction brakes, and this increases the fuel consumption. At the end of the descent, we have 4.0 liters per 100 kilometers. As with most full hybrids, once the battery is full on the way down, the combustion engine kicks in and supports the car in braking, as the electric brake basically doesn't work because there is no way the electric energy can go. So with most cars, they just then brake with the friction brakes and the engine brake. There is a way to do it if you have some brake resistors which destroy the braking energy, but I'm not sure whether there are any cars around which do this. But you find this with trains and electric buses and stuff like that. We're now coming to the end of the open road section, and we see here 3.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Well, it seems we are well on the way to my target of 3.5, 3.7, so it looks good. On the motorway, we have a restriction to 100 kilometers per hour due to some local environmental laws. On the motorway, you notice that the combustion engine was not only driving the wheels but also charging the battery, and this gives us now some energy we have in the battery for city traffic. In the city, it's important to keep the vehicle in motion, try to avoid braking, try to avoid coming to a standstill, and therefore reduce the energy for reacceleration. At the end of the motorway, 3.9 liters per 100 kilometers. Well, we're now coming in to the end of our consumption test with the Toyota Prius, and when we park the car in here, we see 3.6 liters per 100 kilometers. And as usual, I'm fascinated by this technology, by Toyota's hybrid drive, and we see it in the result. And now let's have a look at the details. Okay, let's have a quick look at the data of our trip with the Toyota. Here you see the detailed sectoral and overall consumption. And if you look at the consumption on the open road, mixed road section, and in the city traffic, that's really impressive, as expected from Toyota, and that really shows how advanced and technically sophisticated this system is. But, and I'm not getting tired of saying this, at the end it's down to the driver to bring the result. If you don't obey certain principles or certain rules how to drive hybrids or cars in general efficiently, you will end up with, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% higher consumption, and the question is then, do you really need a hybrid or a Toyota hybrid or a Prius in this case for this? It's important to read the road, look ahead, try to avoid harsh braking in order to make best use of the kinetic energy stored in the car and convert it to electric energy, which can be put back into the batteries. Try to avoid harsh acceleration, try to make most of the work done by the electric motor, and if you press the accelerator pedal too hard, then the combustion engine kicks in, and this then just causes higher consumption as it's not as efficient as the electric motor. So try to make best possible use of the electric part of the drivetrain, and that will automatically increase the efficiency. If you want to know how to drive hybrids in general more efficiently, I've done a video with 5 tips of how to do so. You find it up here, and down here you find the playlist with all the hybrid cars, full hybrid cars I have tested so far. If you are generally interested in this topic, feel free to subscribe to this channel, and if you hit the notification bell, you won't miss any new video. That's it for the Toyota Prius. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time.